Oh, 1 second. Oh. Hi, everyone. I am super, super excited to one be live. I haven't been live in so long. I think the last time I had a live was in April on the last day of the fourth annual conference. So it's been a minute, guys, but I'm back. I'm back to talk about some upcoming events we have in store. I also have a special guest who's going to talk about her special event, which I'm speaking at. So first, I want to tell you guys about the first annual Autism in Black Girls and Women's Summit. If I can get my banners working here, I don't know what happened to everything all of a sudden. Here we go. There we go. And I'm going to share my screen so we can talk about this free summit that we have going on. So you can go to autisminblack.org/girls event, Girls Summit 24, excuse me, Girls Summit 24. You'll be taken to this lovely page that was created by my husband, Dr. Barry, and you will be able to find out about our first annual Black Autistic Girls and Women Summit happening October 19th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. Again, this event is completely free. You'll be able to scroll through the page, find out why we're doing this event, which it is so important. As you guys know, if you were at the fourth annual conference, I did a talk about how in the research when it comes to the community, when it comes to Black autistic girls and women, we are seen as intersectionally invisible. And that is not the case, right? Because we know we're here. So we are really wanting to have the summit to empower our voices, celebrate our strengths, and getting more focused support for us. You'll scroll down, you can find out more about our lovely speakers here. You can get the event schedule. We also have pre-recorded sessions that you'll have access to. So that is some information about our summit. Once you sign up, you'll be taken to the next page, and on there, you're able to upgrade to our All Access Pass, which gives you lifetime access to the recordings. It also gives you a customized workbook and a 1-hour post-conference processing group session with me. You also have the ability to upgrade and get 6 CE hours. I am a NBCC approved CE provider. So you are able to get CE hours for this event. You have to attend live. You're able to get those 6 sessions. And of course, our assistants will be in the chat making sure that you get your credit hours. And then you also have the ability to add on the notes for each session. That is an accommodation that you can upgrade and get. We are taking all the notes for every session. That way you don't have to worry about taking notes. You can sit and process the information, and we'll send you the notes, right? So that is happening October 19th at 9 a.m. Eastern to 5 p.m., completely free unless you're choosing one of the upgrades. Then, of course, there's price associated with that, but you can go to autisminblack.org/Girls Summit 24 for that. And now I am going to introduce our special guest here. I mean, you guys already, are familiar with her. She's spoken at every single Autism in Black conference. She has opened every single event for us, and every time it is something that wows us away. She is a very close friend of mine, very close family member at this point, I would say. She is the owner, the CEO and founder of Advocating for Kids, and she has her second annual conference that is coming up. So at this time, I am going to bring up Cheryl Poe here.
Hey.
And introduce her to the people, and let's get to talking about your second annual conference, the Breaking Barriers Conference.
Yes. Hi, Maria. Thank you for having me here.
Of course, we're very excited. Anytime me and you get to talk on a live, it's a bit different.
You're like at the barbecue. It feels like you're at the barbecue under the shade, talking to your family, right?
Exactly.
Catching up on what's going on in the world of special education advocacy.
Exactly. But we are excited to talk about your second annual conference.
Yeah, breaking
Let's
barriers.
let's get to it. Tell us why, because I know people. I know why she's doing this conference, but I want y'all to hear the reason why this conference is needed and why you should be attending.
Yeah, the reason why I decided to do this conference, and I have to give you your flowers and your props, because all the Autism in Black conference inspired me. Like it let me know that our community is hungry for information
Mhm.
related to just understanding disabilities and being a part of a Black disabled community.
Mhm.
One of the things that you pointed out, or you were able to show in your conference, is something that I felt that I know was missing when we think about the advocacy aspect of
Mhm.
special education, right? When we think about where parents can go and get information on the laws
Yeah.
of IDEA, on practical skills on how to advocate using IDEA, the special education process, to really benefit their children, to make sure that they're going to be successful, that the services on the IEP are appropriate for the child, that other additional related services that the child may need. Usually, when we go to those events, I'm not going to say usually, all the events that I went to when I was trying to learn it were predominantly white. They were predominantly white settings. And I dare to say they were more than predominantly white. They were very white. They're to the point of, predominantly white, I'm saying a 70-30. No, I'm talking a 95% white, 5% other, right? That includes everybody.
Okay.
And I noticed that there was key pieces missing, like things that were talked about that impact the Black disabled community was always about deficiencies,
Mhm.
always about how we're not rising up to, or not being able to access. And don't get me wrong, that information was key. It's key information to know. It's good to know that the system is failing our children, so we know what we need to do to kind of fix that. And that's the piece that was missing. It wasn't representative of me.
Yeah.
The people that were speaking didn't look like me. They didn't have my culture. Even in asking questions at some of those events, knowing that a lot of times they either didn't get it because they missed that intersectionality of what those racist kind of incidences are when you're in the IEP meeting, or they themselves were perpetuating it because they didn't get it, right? Lack of knowledge. You don't know.
Mm.
So it was frustrating, and I kind of disengaged from them because I felt like I learned all I could or needed to learn technically from them, right? But there was a piece missing. What about the Blackness in advocating? What is it like to be a Black woman, mama, right? Mom, sitting at an IEP team table with
Mhm.
13 white professionals around her, telling her how her son is defiant, how he's aggressive, how he's dangerous, how
Woo.
he's engaging in taboo behaviors.
Mm.
Like, they missed that piece. They couldn't relate to that piece
Mhm.
because there's an extra layer of, oh shit, like of look, I started to cuss.
You got yourself though. You got
Right, I did. That extra layer of, dad, not only does my son, is he neurodivergent, he or she learning differently, now all these white folks are telling me this about my child. And we already know, let's just be honest, we already know public education was never designed with the Black student succeeding in mind. That was
Love it.
never the purpose of public education. So once you get that, we know that, we experience that. But
Exactly.
when you add that on top of having a disability, there's a community. I feel like there's this extra layer of shame. At least for me, there were, as a Black individual having a disability herself and not being able to assimilate the way my family wanted me to assimilate into white society, because a lot of my neurodivergence, not even my Blackness, right? Or my ability to still be okay with defying that, right, was probably my neurodivergence, that ADHD. Oh, just because you told me to, I'm not going to do it, kind of deal. But our conference, so all of that being said, all those experiences, all of those mishaps or those missed opportunities through other organizations that do trainings. I'm not saying that they don't do great trainings on the technical piece, but they leave out us. They leave out the Black voice. They leave out the Black experience. They leave out the Black barriers. They were talked about like an object from the perspective of, we know almost in every state in the country that if you're a Black or neurodivergent, having a disability, your chances of being removed from the educational setting are twice as likely as your white counterparts with disability, even though they'll be engaging in the same activity.
Exactly.
The internet is hot about the new GA government. I'm gonna start using the right things. Government Accountability Office report, which is your GAO report, that just identified how Black girls are treated in our educational systems. So if it's like that just for our general neurotypicals, imagine what they're doing to our neurodivergence.
Yeah.
So I say all that to say the conference is to try and build community. I'm not going to say try. The conference does build community around the needs of the Black disabled student and the needs of the family trying to get appropriate services so that their children can be successful. They can graduate with a general education or advanced education diploma, that they can continue education if they choose, or go into a trade school, so that they have the skills to live independently. So we are no longer just a disparate group, that we are a group that knows how to utilize the services to get our kids what they need.
Yeah. And it's really important because especially in our community, there comes a certain bias when we think special education because of, our community and how it's been portrayed. And oftentimes with us not having the right information and not knowing the right information, we are not able to effectively advocate for our children. We don't push for them to get supports because of the stigmas associated with special education, which leaves our children without those supports and not able to access education like their peers do, right? So we have to make sure that when this type of information is available, that we are taking advantage of it. For me, and Cheryl knows, I just called her this morning about it. So incident with the school that was in regards to special education. Even me with all of my experience, I'm still going through things related to special education and advocating for my child and fighting hard for my child. So for those individuals who do not have that privilege of the education of knowing how to maneuver these channels, it is extremely difficult and frustrating. It is frustrating for me with all of this knowledge. Cheryl knows I call her weekly. I talk to her daily, but weekly there's an issue we have to discuss and she has to process with me because it's so frustrating. So if you're not having that community that you can call somebody and be like, guess what happened today? And I just need you to hear me vent, maybe sprinkle in a little advice of how not to really blow my top here. You need to be at this conference because that's the kind of community you will gain. You will have a community of like-minded individuals talking about what they're experiencing, right? Getting tips on how to navigate this and go through this process just a little bit easier, right?
Right.
Because it is difficult, it is frustrating, it is something that we constantly having to deal with, right?
Mhm.
It doesn't matter if your child is going into 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. There's always a
12th
challenge.
grade. Add that senior year in there. 12th grade.
Transition into college, all of those things are very difficult and they bring their own set of challenges. And if you are not properly equipped, then you are going to be stressed out, frustrated, overwhelmed, and your child is going to not be getting what they need and what they deserve and what they are entitled to, right? So it is so important when conferences like these, where they're about us, that we are supporting and attending, because other people do not care about us. And that's just the real deal. Okay. That's why Autism in Black exists. That's why all the conferences and the summits exist, because we know that other people do not care about us. They don't want to offer us a seat at the table. And quite frankly, I don't want a seat at their table. I'm gonna make my own, right? Which is why we are here. So I'm going to pull up your website, Cheryl,
Okay.
that my lovely husband did as well, guys.
Yes, I love me some Dr. B. He is wonderful, and he's going to be presenting, right? You guys are going to do a couple session. I'm so excited about that. I can't wait to when you pull this up and to go over all the wonderful people. Yeah, it looks like it's split screen though. It's weird.
Oh, there. Got to get us back over here. Let me find us. There we go.
Here you go. Yep. So when you come to the page, this is what you sign up into to get your tickets. But let's just you got a video. Well, you just scrolling. Where you want to start? Where you want to start?
Let me talk about it since I'm over here controlling. You're going to find a nice video here that gives you a little bit of information about the conference. You're more than welcome, of course, to listen to that. However, it is also laid down. Here's a nice button right here for your access. If you already know you want to go ahead and click that.
Get your ticket.
And you'll be taken where you can purchase it. Here's information about the conference, the agenda. Cheryl is opening her conference. And I'm excited about that. She's also going to be talking about an amazing project that I have the honor of working on her with, the Advocating While Black Research Project. So if you want more information about that, you need to get your ticket so you can get that information, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, look who it is.
Who's that up there?
So you can see then it's going to be a nice couples panel discussion, and we're going to be talking about what it's like raising Black neurodivergent children, right? And what I do like about this panel is that I know I'm autistic. I know that Destiny is neurodivergent. So there's an aspect of our spouses also being married to neurodivergent individuals. So we may talk about that a little bit as well.
And can I just jump into, for me, one of the favorite things that I like about this is it shows our units, our family units. Again, we're breaking the myths that people put on us, which are that fathers are absent or fathers don't care about special ed. We are breaking those myths. Look, we have couples that are going to share with you that we recognize in our communities how hard it is to maneuver when you have a child that has a disability. And I'm really excited about you guys shining and showing that within that struggle, there you find another layer of connectedness with your spouse. And I think that's going to be powerful. So I'm really, really excited about this one too. I'm excited about them all, but I really wanted to uplift y'all on that one.
Thank you. And I can't speak for Destiny and Nathaniel, but as for me and Barry, we have two different types of personalities, which work out in our favor, because I'm the type that wants to go in and knock everything off somebody's desk. And Barry's the type to reel me back in and be like, before we do that, So we'll be talking about that too. Here's some more of the speakers. There is Keith Howard, who is a special education attorney. So having Black special education attorneys is very,
One of 3 in the country.
and I have one of the 3 as my
3.
own.
Well, as a Black male, yeah, there are more. Believe it or not, there are more Black female sped ed attorneys.
Okay, there we
But
go.
not many. The men, a lot of the men went into the corporate world. You know, it's strange.
I can see it. I can see it.
Can you see that? Yeah,
I can, especially knowing that on the law side of that, it is not a high paying niche. So I can see that for the men. I think more of the women probably are leading with emotion, you know, and wanting to really nurture and change. So that fits. But I do have a Black special education attorney, female, who, you know, goes in and she's, you know, doing.
I don't think we have any in Virginia that like have in fact, I know for sure we do not have any Black special education attorneys whose practice is solely sped ed. You know, that's why I got him to get licensed in Virginia, because we need some help.
We need it. And I won't put Cheryl out there, but yeah, I'm going to do it. Cheryl is almost an attorney herself. She don't have the credentials, but she can, you know, advocate with the best of them. So there's that.
Thank you.
Here's Dr. Huff and her session. And then, oh, look who it is again. It's me. I am here. I am going to be talking about empowering Black neurodivergent families. We're going to be talking about the Black side of autism, must have tools, because when you are Black and autistic, you have to navigate things differently, not only as an autistic individual, but as the parent of that autistic individual. So we're going to get down to that. Cheryl's closing out day 2, then day 3. We have some more amazing sessions. We have Corey over here who's going to be talking about homeschool. So that's going to be great. Some more speakers there. And then you might be familiar here with Nikita and Kwame, as they have been speakers for the Autism in Black Conference the last 2 years. And they're going to be taking their expertise to the Breaking Barriers Conference. And I can't wait to hear their sessions. And of course,
I'm excited about that. Yeah,
I am super excited about this session right here. I don't
how to write a complaint. I've been trying to write complaints for the last 2 years.
I don't think you all understand the importance of this session. If you are getting a ticket, trust me, your ticket is not going to compare. Just this session alone is worth the ticket price. Just how to file a state complaint. This is something that we need. We need this knowledge. And Cheryl has a lot of success with filing state complaints. She is an expert. So just this session alone is worth the ticket price.
Oh, thank you. And I even follow them in Florida.
Yeah.
I like the way Florida comes back. And it wasn't even her case. No, it wasn't her. I told her to let me do it, but she didn't. You know, I get it.
Cheryl is biased.
We'll take care of it.
And yeah, so I don't let her advocate for mine. She's just as biased as I am. So
I am completely. Yeah, we both be. Barry, can you come get us?
Well, yes. Cheryl has 3 ticket tiers. Now, I suggest getting either VIP or platinum, because I think for those 2 ticket tiers, you're going to be getting the most bang for your buck. But of course, there's also general admission. So you can find out more information about each ticket tier. But I will say VIP, you get a VIP half day.
And you're going to be there too, right? You're going to be at the VIP with us.
I'm popping in.
Yes.
For
the hot seat.
Yes, so you get 2 experts for only $249. Now I think that's a deal. You also get the 1-year access to the replays, which is amazing. So that means if you're not available on that weekend, that you'll have the chance for a year to go back and review it. It also means that we know that our children change from academic year to academic year. So what is relevant to you now, something may be different and relevant to you in a year, and you have the opportunity to go back and access that. For instance, your child may be in elementary school right now, and then they're transitioning to middle school the following academic year. Now you can go in and watch anything on transitioning and get information on that. With the platinum ticket, you are going to get a 1-year discounted membership to the Advocating for Kids community, which I'm very excited about. And I know I'm going to be up in there. So I want to see you up in there.
Yes.
So make sure that you are purchasing your tickets. And I have put I know I put in the comments where you can get your tickets.
Yeah. It's right there. Yep, there it is. Just go over here in comments and click on that, and it'll take you to that website. You can dive deeper into the sessions. The way that we have it, you get to see the individual. You get to see the time. You get to see a summary of the topic, so that you can kind of make your agenda and schedule yourself to really get the ones that you really, really need right away. Of course, you have access to everything live, but I like knowing what's coming and who's going to do it and how it relates to what I'm going to. And we're going to have some fun too. Soul Thursday, we got Calvin,
y'all now.
Yes.
Autism Black Conference, we haven't even upgraded to a DJ yet. So Cheryl has a DJ, and I know I have picked out some very great songs that I'm coming into and going out to. So I'm ready to put my dance on it. And he is a great DJ. If you've attended any of the Soul Thursdays, you understand and know that he really has a nice transitional flow with his songs. Yes, so I know it's going to bring a vibe to Cheryl's conference. She's also using the Whova platform. So if you've attended any of our conferences, you're familiar with that. But I love that the Whova platform allows you to have that engagement with each other. It allows you as attendees to go in there and be able to communicate and build that community with one another, have your own pop-ups, all kinds of things. There's a leaderboard. Now, Cheryl usually is leading the leaderboards when
I'm going to fight Destiny though. Destiny, are you watching?
But at this event, I'm in there in the leaderboard. Okay, so I know that Autism in Black is going to be doing some giveaways. So if you are wanting to get any of the stuff that we are going to be giving away, please make sure you're getting your ticket, that you're attending, because when I tell you Cheryl is an expert at what she does. She doesn't like to talk about herself, but anytime I have the opportunity, I'm going to tell you just how much of an expert she is. And the information and what she is giving you is definitely worth the ticket price, because I can guarantee you, if you're trying to hire her outside of that, those are not the prices that you're going to see. No. You are thinking about that VIP day where you actually get to bring your IEP to the VIP day, have a hot seat and ask questions about your IEP. In addition to a whole conference that's going to be talking about special education, you need to be getting that VIP or platinum VIP ticket, because those right there are just worth it in itself. You're going to have that time with Cheryl and me to really go through those IEPs, and that alone is worth that ticket. Yeah,
it's kind of the way I'm choosing to do this VIP is like, it'll be an intimate group. So we'll really be able to dig down deep into some of the individual concerns, or at least like the group concerns. Everybody's struggling with understanding how to get this. So we dive deep into that. We're going to give you really go into like the basic concepts, the key concepts of what you need to know in SPED Ed. And then we're going to put you on the hot seat, right, with your IEP. And we're going to see if you can practice with your own IEP the things that you've learned up until then. And what you may have missed, it's fine, because you're going to get more of it when we have the conference. So it's going to be great. It's
Oh,
the VIP is the way to go. It really is.
and I know I
Yeah.
said I'm in there to help, but if y'all see me bring up my child's IEP so I can get a moment on that hot seat, please don't judge me. Okay.
Yeah, we are completely no judgment zone here. We
Let
things we don't
me
believe. We don't believe in holy water to cure disabilities.
come on with
We
it.
don't believe, you won't be hearing anything about, oh, you can pray that away. Sorry, that's just not who we are. We believe
Oh,
neurodivergence is who we
woo.
are as individuals. And we just need people to understand us and relate to us as we are, you know?
Oh, Cheryl brought up a trigger this
Didn't
happened.
mean to. Sorry. I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure you're okay.
For you at the conference last year too, and we handled it very well. I think it was handled in a great way of bringing that to light, because a lot of times that is something that we have to deal with in our community, and we don't talk
Right.
about it enough. We don't shed light on it enough. So I appreciated that moment. It was a little shocking, but we got through it.
Yeah.
So, and that's what this conference is about, because we know that there are so many stigmas surrounding disability, surrounding special education, that when you get to see one of those biases happen in real time and we get to process it and deal with it, that's what I love about having conferences that are about us, because we get to see that healing in real time. We get to see how we address it in real time. And Cheryl addressed it so lovely. It happened during my session because I was talking about church hurt, and an individual talked about how they do try to lay hands and pray it away, and that, we all got our issues, whatever. Cheryl handled it, and it was a beautiful moment in how she handled it. So I appreciate that, and it's a safe space that we get to have.
And I just want to send a quick shout out to Inga Shea. I see she's here watching us. She is our presenter, and she's going to be and you'll love this, Maria. She's part of our brand, right? Black Neurodivergent Diagnosed Late. And she's really going to talk about some ADHD, which you know what
I say. I say any unmedicated Maria, my ADHD is shining bright like a diamond.
I'm so glad to have her expertise. I want to be sitting there learning for myself. I just know. I mean, because even though we're talking about how to advocate, like how to maneuver, some of the things that we're going to be talking about in our lives ourselves as adults and being neurodivergent, we may be able to use, so I'm really, really excited about that. And then I also see, if you don't mind, because I love sharing free information. Someone also wanted to know, what is the state complaint? So can I spend some time?
Okay. She's going to give you a brief thing, because I really want you guys to get the ticket to get the full thing, but she is going to give us some information on state complaint. And again, she is an expert, so remember that.
Yes. So a state complaint under IDEA, right, the Individuals with Disabilities Act, there's something called dispute resolution. Congress must have known school districts were going to be acting up, because they put in the regulatory language ways for parents to dispute what the school districts are doing to our children, what they're offering, if they're not offering the right services, if the placement is inappropriate, if they're not identifying. So there's like these key pieces that if you as a parent, caregiver of a child, feel that your school district violated your child's rights, you can file a complaint on that violation to the state department that you live in. Every state has this. It's part of the federal law. So every state has that. And then you're presenting to the state the concern, and you're asking them to look at it. So I'm going to be talking about how to use that technique, right? To not only advocate for your own child, but to do it systemically. So you're advocating for every child that comes behind you when the school districts are jacked up. So we'll be talking about that a little bit more, but I just wanted to give, a little bit of information.
On your end, with you sharing, I can't see your comments that are coming from your side. So that's.
Oh, okay. And your Instagram, is that why I'm seeing it? Is that how? Because I'm in Instagram.
No, I can't see your comments.
Okay.
Let me know when they come up. I'm not
Oh,
ignoring it.
okay. Let me see. Somebody said, what is the state complaint? I answered that. And then someone said, I love Calvin. So they know Calvin from Soul Thursday. And then when you were talking about the inappropriateness of holy water and laying hands, they said, say it in the back, say it louder for those in the back.
Listen, y'all, I might, and I think I am sprinkling a little bit about religion and church hurt in this one as well, because it's so important, because it happens so often. I cannot tell you how many clients come to me and talk about church hurt and how they try to pray and pray and pray. And of course, your child is still autistic, right? And what we do here at Autism in Black, and I know what Cheryl does at Advocating for Kids, is we're neuroaffirming, because we are neurodivergent ourselves. So we know what it's like, and we're raising, in Cheryl's case, her children are adults, so she has successfully raised neurodivergent children.
Black. I did it. And no school to prison pipeline. Didn't get no charges. I didn't get any charges. Everybody. It was difficult, but we survived.
That's the key. She didn't get any charges. So let me tell you, if she can do it, we can do it. Because every day I'm very close.
But again, like I continue and I keep going back, because Maria, you didn't tell me putting a conference together is hard. It is stressful. I forgot about that part.
I do not think people understand the pressure of putting on an event, and an event with an experience. And I say that all the time for attendees. They don't really understand all of that back end work that we do. It is extremely overwhelming and frustrating, especially when you have a neurodivergence, okay? And, non-preferred tasks happen to us too.
we push each other on those.
We do. Have
you done that yet? I'm like, oh.
We stay on top of each other. It's easier for me to support her for her conference, and it's easier for her to support me during my conference and summits, because it is a non-preferred task a lot of times, of maneuvering all of the back end stuff just to make sure that, the speakers are seamless, to make sure that you're getting an experience. Someone like Calvin, who's coming on and knowing the music and keeping the vibe up for the attendees during a virtual conference, right? To make sure we are getting these platforms that are expensive and that we're investing in. So we are investing a lot on the back end to bring this experience. So I just want to make sure that Cheryl knows that she's appreciated for doing this conference that is needed. And every year I'm on her like, yes, we're having a conference again this year.
Yeah. And I did do it. It people are like, oh, but you charge. I was like, you're right, because it's not free. Right. It's not free for me to do this. But more importantly, to be real, it is about the experience. This is something that, God, I wish I would have had when I was going through what I was going through. It would have made my life a lot easier. I would have felt less stress. I would have felt less isolated. I would have, gotten the support, the emotional kind of support. I would have had people that are sharing the experience that look like me, so they would be able to share it even in a deeper level. And to offer that to me, I get excited. I get goosebumps about being able to create that space for other people, because I just know how important it is. It's like, to see people, to have your own reflection, kind of walking you through something that's difficult is very powerful. And that's why, I think it's important to have our Black national experts in the field to come together. I thank you guys for wanting to make sure that our community has an opportunity for this. I do it more than you do, but constantly being pulled and seeing these events, and I'm like, and they want you to come, and then you're the only Black person there, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm like kind of starting to wean away from those kinds of opportunities, because it doesn't work for me anymore. It doesn't feel as authentic, So guys, this is not only an opportunity, I say, for our parents and our community to come together. I think it's also a great opportunity for our speakers and our experts in this field to shine, for
Mhm.
people to know there are PhD level speech pathologists out there. There are ADHD specialists that look like you out there. There
Mhm.
are, Black autism specialists that look like you that are out there that can help you maneuver through all of these pieces.
Mhm.
So, it's multi-level. It's definitely getting the information into the hands of the parents so they can have good outcomes for their children. Hopefully changing, the narrative for them. They're not feeling scared. They're not feeling frustrated. They're feeling confident. They're
Yes.
feeling like, wait a minute, no, that my right is to say, I don't think so. I don't agree with that. Let me have some time, right? Even
Exactly.
some of the small stuff, but it's going to change. But the other piece is bringing the speakers together. I mean, I love my speakers. They're amazing people that
Not
they're
my
willing to do
favorite,
this.
but yes, to the rest
Yeah,
of them as well. I'm her
yeah,
favorite.
and yeah. I mean, you know. It's a community. It's a
But she
community.
has.
And every time I want to say I'm not doing this again, because I think I've said it 5 times today, Marie's like, yes, you are.
I
I'm
don't
like,
even
oh, it's too
bother
much.
to. I'm not even listening to it because I'm like, yes, and pick a date for next year while we're at it. My husband, Dr. Barry, stays on Cheryl too because he's like,
Yeah,
this
he
is
does.
needed. So he pushes her too because he knows the gift that she has. And sometimes it is about that community knowing about your
Yes.
gift and pushing you because conferences like this are needed. Where else are you going to get a SPED Ed conference that is focused on our community? I don't know any happening besides this one. Not one.
Yeah. Me either.
Not one
Not like
happening.
this. Not like this.
No, I have not seen that. We're not talking about, oh, just one little breakaway session that you talk. No, we're talking a full 3 days that is focused on our community, how to better support our community, how to get the skills that you need as a parent who's advocating for your child. This isn't happening anywhere else. So this is where you need to be. Because if you look like me and you have kids who are neurodivergent, this is where you need to be. Because this is where you're going to learn. Okay. So I want you guys to really understand.
Love it. I
get on my soapbox and I gotta
ain't mad at you. I'm loving it.
I gotta calm myself down. But it's so imperative that we support Black advocacy, right? We support people who are out here doing the work for our community because far often than not, a lot of times this work is so heavy for us when we're doing it, when we're in the midst of it. So we have to give each other our flowers while we can to understand that we need to keep doing this. We need to keep making sure that one family understands that, oh, now, like Cheryl said, once you get that confidence, it is a complete game changer. You're like,
it really is.
I'm going in here and I know what I'm talking about in this IEP meeting, and I'm going to leave feeling better, right? So just having a little bit of information and changing that makes you feel a little bit better. Like, oh, I didn't leave crying today.
Right? I left with my head up.
I didn't knock nobody's stuff off the table today.
Well, it's kind of funny because you and I were talking. I was in Richmond collecting some stories about parents, and remember, I got a click, right? And I was like, Marie, you're not going to believe it. I just shared a little bit of information with somebody. It's like an hour and a half drive from where I am to Richmond. So I was doing some phone calls, and I had just been talking to Maria about, oh yeah, that's why. Like she reminded me, that's why we're doing the conference, because that little bit of information that you were happy about sharing, you're going to be giving it to a large people. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Within, I'd say 20 minutes of our call, that same person called me back and was like, I had to call you back and let you know your language was perfect. They're going to do it. And they could tell I've been talking to somebody, and it was like a whole different vibe. And that's, Maria, is what helps keeping me going sometimes, right? That like, we need to make sure that we get this information in their hands so school districts can stop messing with our folks.
Exactly. We're changing the game and trajectory for Black babies, right? We're making sure these kids do not have to be on that school to prison pipeline because it's so easy for them to place us on that. So we are making sure that you're able to make sure, not with my kid. I know this game, and we ain't gonna play it.
Look, I was just at the Breaking Barriers conference, and this is what they told me.
Cheryl Poe
Read
told
that
me
to
how to file a state
them.
complaint. So if you want that to happen, and let me tell you, she is very successful with filing state complaints. So if you want me to file one with the knowledge I've learned at that conference, I can do so. Or we can, just do it needs to be done. So y'all gonna have that type of language, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because I'll share. I mean, I filed a state an Office of Civil Rights complaint against the whole state of Virginia. They actually picked it up. The U.S. Department of Education is investing our whole state of Virginia for how they failed to provide appropriate services to the students during COVID. So look, if I can do that and get it up in front of those to make a change for the state, I know y'all can do it to make a change for your child in your district. And that's what I will show you what to do.
She has the framework she's going to be telling you. Cheryl, before we get out of here, what is one thing you want to leave folks with?
For those that have already bought tickets and are supporting our conference, I want to say thank you. I'm looking forward to entering this journey with you coming up on October 11th, 12th, and 13th. It is going to be community. You're going to laugh. You may even cry, but you're going to move, you're going to dance, you're going to learn, and you're going to meet people that are of the same mindset. And they're going to meet people that believe in you and believe in your abilities to get what you need for your child to be successful. You're going to get what you need. I promise you that. You're going to hear something from someone. And it may even be a question that somebody that attended it asked that started that conversation for you to grab that nugget that you need. So it is, it's not too late to get your tickets. We're going to sell tickets up until October 11th. So go ahead and get your ticket, because after that, it's going to be done. And we're just going to have a good time. Just come, be a part of the community. You have an opportunity right now to make a difference in your child's life, right? You have a chance to say what has happened up to now isn't acceptable. And you as the parent are going to do something different. And what you're going to do different is you're going to learn. You're going to learn how to stand up for yourself. You're going to learn how to fight for your child. You're going to learn what to do if they call you to tell you to come pick up your child because they're dysregulated. You're going to learn what to do if they forget to implement your child's IEP, how to get those hours back. You're going to learn that if your child is autistic, these are some things you need to be aware of as a Black autistic, as a Black parent raising a Black autistic child in our school systems, right? You're going to learn about ADHD and how we as a community need to understand these disabilities better so that the Black community can stop being stigmatized by disabilities, and instead realize it's just a natural process. It's just learning a little differently, experiencing life a little bit differently. And once we can accept that and start to learn how to use the systems that are in place to advocate for our children, we will have better outcomes. I promise you that. So that's why you should come and attend the Breaking Barriers Conference. And Maria, thank you so much for allowing me to be here.
Of course. And guys, just a reminder that the inaugural Autism Black
Summit, right?
Autistic Girls and Women's Summit is happening the week after Cheryl's conference. So you can go to Cheryl's conference one weekend and attend our summit the next weekend, October 19th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. Please go to autismblack.org/girls summit 24 to get your free ticket. We also have some upgrades in there. If you are a clinician, then you have the opportunity to get 6 CE hours, live hours. So please check that out. And we want to see you the weekend of Cheryl's conference, October 11th through the 13th. And then we want to see you October 19th at this summit where Cheryl is also a speaker as well. So we have a busy October.
Yeah, we really do.
So make sure
a lot of learning happening.
A lot of needed learning. So please, if you have a Black child who has an IEP, a 504 plan, or a Black child with a disability, make sure you're at Cheryl's conference because you are going to be learning how to advocate for your child. And then the 19th, come on and chill with us so we can talk about the Black Autistic Girl and Women experience. So thank you all. Make sure you're checking out both websites, getting your tickets, and we want to see you in October, and enjoy your Monday.
Bye, everyone.